Next, The Fugitive, in color.
Are you getting tired, Deputy? Helena's only about 25 miles. Might as well be 1,000 for you. Come on. When did you become a buddy of his? Dalton, you got a real prize package here. This here's Richard Kimball, the man who killed his wife.
Get moving.
What was the point of that? Teach you a lesson. We're in this together. When we get ready to move, it's going to take the both of us. Now, if you had any ideas of letting you go, you're all gone now.
The Fugitive. A QM production. Starring David Jansen as Dr. Richard Kimball, an innocent victim of blind justice, falsely convicted for the murder of his wife. Reprieved by fate when a train wreck freed him en route to the death house. Freed him to hide in lonely desperation, to change his identity, to toil at many jobs. Freed him to search for a one-armed man he saw leave the scene of the crime. Freed him to run before the relentless pursuit of the police lieutenant obsessed with his capture.
The guest stars in tonight's story: James Ferrantino, Percy Rodriguez. Tonight's episode, Passage to Helena.
City, a rugged frontier town in the mining country of northern Montana. To the ordinary man, a place where he can test himself against the harsh demands of nature. To the fugitive, a corridor of danger.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
I'd like my bus ticket.
Here, thanks. Yes, sir. Now, where'd you like to go?
I'd like a ticket to Helena, one way, please.
One way. A round trip's only $2 more.
I only want to go one way.
One way. Helena. One way. Helena. That'll be $3.80. Say, how about a haircut?
Well, thanks. When's the bus leave?
2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, I thought there was a bus this evening.
There is. Only it's 40 miles out of Hollister with a broken rear axle. I told them that bus needed new shocks. Offered to sell them a set myself at 20 off. But no, they had to do things their own way.
Is there any other way to get to Helena this evening?
Well, outside of walking, I don't see what's to be done about it. I'll tell you what. You take this little note to my brother, Sam McGinnis. He runs the Weiler Inn. Now, he'll see to it that you get a good room at 20 off. Won't cost you more than $4 or $5, and it'll be all rested up for the trip tomorrow. And now you got the time. How about a haircut? Have $1 off on Fridays.
Thanks.
Hey, you! Follow me!
right, get up against that post. Come on, stretch out. Freeze, mister.
What are you working on?
Oh, what else would it be?
Oh, you can put it away.
Well, it's a murder case, remember? Except I'm willing to go to court and swear that old man Gamion never had an enemy from the day he was born.
You didn't, but it was still murder. Or I guess you could call it that.
Do you know something else I don't?
Coroner finished the autopsy.
I know. That was a waste of time. A bullet through the head kills, or did they teach me wrong?
Well, bullet killed him, all right. John Gamion did it.
His own brother?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on now, Emery. Those two old men have been living in that same cabin together for the past 30 years. I've never seen two men more devoted.
That's right, but I was down to the hospital this afternoon, had a chat with old man Gamion's doctor. Gamion was dying. John knew it. Just couldn't stand to see his brother suffer anymore.
Guess I better go pick him up, huh?
No need. He'll be down by himself in the morning. Hey, you have a man you want me to see?
Yeah, he's in there with Webb.
Webb?
Emery.
Well, Webb, I think Klein needs some help with that new Cedar Glen report.
I'd like to know what I'm being charged with.
What would you prefer?
That isn't funny.
We're not charging you with anything yet, just holding you for questioning. We have a right to your services for 2 more hours.
I haven't heard any questions.
A green 1962 pickup truck was reported stolen. Belonged to a farmer named Pruitt. You got a look at the man, and from the description he gave us, it fits you.
I've only been in town a couple of hours. I bought a bus ticket to Helena.
Then why did you run when the officer stopped you?
I only had $10 in my pocket, no visible means of support.
You don't look or talk like a vagrant. Pruitt here yet?
Yes, he just got in.
Send him in, will you? What did you say your name was?
Barrett, Thomas Barrett.
Thomas Barrett. Good. Stand up, Barrett. Mr. Pruitt, Mr. Barrett.
That ain't the man.
You sure about that?
He not only ain't the right one, he ain't even the wrong one. I told the officers what that man looked like. He don't look anything like him.
Thank you, Mr. Pruitt.
Can I go now?
No, not yet.
You arrested me, you held me here, now your witness came in and he couldn't identify me. Now I'd like to leave.
The officers made a mistake, Mr. Barrett. All we can do about that is apologize. But you resisted arrest.
All right, that's my mistake. We're even.
Resisting arrest isn't a mistake, it's a criminal offense. Especially the way I heard you did it. A regular one-man gang.
All right. I'd like to see a lawyer.
Well, Jack Clayton's on a case in Helena, and Ty Richardson's laid up with the flu.
Very helpful.
Look, why don't you relax, get a good night's sleep. Webb, Mr. Barrett will be staying the night. Give him the first cell on the right-hand side, the one with the new mattress. Send out for anything he wants to eat. On the house. Anything else you want, just holler. Mr. Barrett? line. Check Barrett against whatever wanted posters we've got lying around.
That's a pretty good mattress. I sleep on it sometimes when I work late. Anything special you want for dinner?
Welcome to the Sunny Palms Hotel. You here on the monthly or yearly rate?
Just overnight.
What would you do wrong?
I resisted arrest.
What would they arrest you for?
Looking like someone.
It's a bad policy. Here, catch. Pecan candy.
Thank you.
Oh, don't mention it. You eat that hash they haul over from Shipley's, you won't live long enough to get to trial. Say, who was it the boys had you confused with?
Someone who stole a pickup.
Wow. The only reason I ask is that it seems to me you look like somebody I seen once. Somebody I read about in a detective magazine. It's a hobby of mine. I like to read up on what makes people become killers. You look like this guy who killed his wife back east somewhere.
Never been married.
Well, that's the problems you run into, I guess. Having a familiar face. You take my brother Harry Joe, for example. Anytime he strays from home territory, he's getting picked up for anything from chicken thieving to armed mayhem. Which ain't to say he ain't never done all those things.
Morning, Matt.
What'd you do? Sleep here last night?
Easier to get to work.
That's very humorous. I wish I was in more of a mood for humor. I wish I didn't have to hear at 6 o'clock on a Saturday morning that my chief deputy is holding a cleared prisoner incommunicado.
Well, he wasn't cleared of resisting arrest. Now, you read the report. It was like he was fighting for his life. I could make out a case for assaulting an officer.
Well, if that's what you're holding him on, why didn't you bring him into court this morning for arraignment?
Because arraignment means bail.
This is the procedure.
Now, if he gets out on bail, Matt, that's the last you'll ever see of him.
On a misdemeanor, he's got to have rocks in his head.
Not if there's something bigger out on him.
Such as?
Oh, I don't know yet. Nothing on him here. He's cleared. Checked him out. But I just got a feeling about him.
You've got a feeling. What are you, a poet? You're a cop, and there's a book of procedure you're supposed to follow.
Matt, if there isn't something big out on him, I'll buy you a new hunting hat.
How are you going to hold him past this afternoon's arraignment?
Won't be any arraignment. I'm taking him to Helena for identification.
Well, you must be out of your mind. You've got an assignment in Deer Lodge, remember?
I remember.
Do you? Look, this isn't a possum hunt you're going on. I'm talking about Rafe Carter.
I know who he is. Well, look, I'm going through Helena anyway. If there's nothing on Barrett, well, I'll just let him go.
Carter's a killer, and you're taking him to hang. You and that kid deputy who's never fired a gun off the practice range.
That's more than enough, and he's a good man.
Well, it isn't enough. And if I didn't have the whole county to worry about, I'd send the whole squad with you.
Well, if anybody's planning trouble, they'll expect me to take the main highway. I'll go the back road in the old pickup truck.
Well, you think that way will be safer? Do you know what those mountains are like?
I've been through there 100 times, and I grew up around mountain people, you know that.
You were just a boy. You're a man now with a sheriff's badge on your shirt.
You mean I'm a black man with a badge?
Look, they wouldn't care if you were green with orange stripes. You're wearing a badge, and that's all Carter's friends need.
Relax, I know what I can handle, Matt.
I'm sorry, Dalton. You have to take Carter, but you can't take Barrett.
Now, Matt. All right. Let him go. And when it turns out you let a wanted man loose, you can explain.
All right. If you think you got something, go ahead. Take him with you.
Thanks, Matt.
Don't thank me now. Wait until you get back from Deer Lodge, if you make it there.
We're taking the 2 men in. Time to go.
To the courthouse?
Police station in Helena.
Why there?
That's where you were headed, wasn't it?
I have a bus ticket if it's all the same to you.
It isn't.
Well, looky. Wilder's one-man minstrel show.
On your feet.
Why? You can shine my shoes sitting down.
Get on your feet, you're moving out.
Who's gonna take me? You?
You want me to get him up, Sergeant?
No, he'll get up by himself.
You're going through Rafe Carter's country. I think about that, boy.
Carlton, you run into any trouble, you use that radio. Don't be a hero.
Yeah.
You ever kill anyone? I said, you ever kill anyone?
No.
I have. I killed 2 they know about and 2 more they don't. They was all people who had a mind to stop me from doing what I was aiming to do. I'm not telling you my life story to entertain you on a little ride to Helena. If we get to Helena, they're gonna hang you as dead as they hang me. Ain't that right, Dr. Kimball?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, sure. You go on saying that for the public record. I'm not going to Helena. And that means you're not going either. And that means that we're going to have to add a couple more of that little score I was telling you about. But we're going to do just that. You and me. What's up?
Gate shows 3/4 empty. It was full when we left. Gas tank leaking.
Well, let me see what I can do.
Like I tried to tell you, Deputy, ain't hardly anybody in these parts not a relative of mine. Wouldn't surprise me a bit if a few weren't behind those rocks. Or those bushes over there?
Well, that ought to hold it for a while. Oh, my turn. I'll drive.
Okay. What's on your mind?
But for the grace of God and you, that could be me back there.
Oh, me?
But if you didn't take me in tow when I was a kid,
All right, son. Just keep your eye on the road.
that Carter sure got a lot of hate.
Haven't we all?
Doesn't that bother you?
Sometimes it does. Sometimes it don't.
Here they come. He's gone.
Unit 5 calling headquarters. Unit 5 calling headquarters. Unit 5 calling headquarters.
Take it easy, son. I'll be back as soon as I can.
It's a mile to the river. Once we get past that, it's another mile to my cousin Tyler's place.
He's gone.
He ain't gone. Not yet. We lost him. I'll take care of yours when we got more time. Come on, let's go.
Get over there.
You better let me take a look at him.
Stay where you are.
I've had experience with this sort of thing.
What experience?
Medic in the army. He's dead.
Come up. Put him in the cab of the truck. Wait a minute.
I'll take care of that leg for you.
All right, let's move.
What are you gonna do, march us to Helena?
That's right.
One of those bullets must have bounced off your thick skull. Helena's 40 miles. You'll drop dead before we get 10.
You walk much on that leg, you'll wind up losing.
Thanks for the advice. Now let's walk.
We had a big old dog once. Used to sleep with us, eat with us. I'd lived with human beings so long, pretty soon it began to think it was human itself.
Just shut up.
Man, you're losing your sense of humor.
Hold it.
Hey, that's Big Ben Wilson. He's got a mighty big mouth. Oh, word's gonna start spreading.
Up there. Get walking.
We're gonna have to stop, Dalton.
Not now.
Forget him. He'll be dead soon.
Is the water contaminated?
Where's that creek come from? Spring or runoff water?
I forgot.
Is it contaminated?
Well, there's one way to find out.
We need the water.
He needs it worse than we do. I know what water to drink. He don't. Might give you a bad bellyache.
Ain't that right, boy?
Benson place, isn't it?
That's right, boy.
All right, let's get moving.
That's Laura Benson's house. Widow of my friend Tom. We're gonna be all right now. You just be ready to move when I do.
Your room. Oh, boy.
Tom, take your sister in the kitchen and close the door. Oh!
Excuse the intrusion, ma'am.
Who are you? What do you want?
Chief Deputy Emery Dalton, Wilder County Sheriff's Office. You have a telephone here?
No, we don't.
Have an automobile?
No. We're poor people, mister.
I'm on my way to Helena with these two prisoners. Had an accident back on the road and one of my officers was killed. I'm gonna have to ask you to put us up for the night, ma'am, until we can get back on the road again.
I'm a widow and there's 2 children in this house. It ain't right to bring criminals in here.
They won't be troubling you any. You have my word.
All right, come on in. I'll see if I can find you something to eat and drink.
That's grateful, ma'am.
This way.
Are you a bank robber?
Don't ask foolish questions. Take your sister and go to bed now.
It's too early for bedtime, Ma.
You do what I say. Get your sister and go on to bed. You hear me?
Can I help, ma'am?
Well, you can get the cups out of that cupboard. It's It's hot tea and whiskey.
Thank you.
I don't like to see a man in chains no matter what he done. And I don't like to see a man accepting my hospitality with one hand and holding a shotgun in the other.
Sorry, ma'am.
What was it they done wrong?
Enough that I should keep holding this shotgun. Appreciate what you're doing. I want you to know that.
Well, I'll appreciate it when you're gone tomorrow. You can use the couch and the chairs to sleep in. I gotta go see to my children.
You know, back in Weiler, I was sure I had myself a wanted man. Oh, I'm still sure. Don't mean I got anything against you personally.
It's nice to hear.
Find out I was wrong about you. Well, you have my apology in advance.
Apologies are easy.
Not for me. I haven't apologized to anybody for anything since I put on a badge.
That badge means a lot to you, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. It does.
That gun means more to him. Because if he didn't have it, he'd be rotting away in some ditch right now.
Shut up.
You got the gun.
What do you do? For a living, I mean.
Mechanic, mostly.
Got a wife?
I used to.
Women have a place in a man's life, but they don't tell him what he is. Man's work. That tells him what he is.
Why is it so important for you to get me to Helena?
Find out who you are.
I told you who I was.
Thomas Barrett. Who'd you kill, Barrett?
I didn't kill anybody.
Well, now, why don't you ask me?
You know something about him?
No. I just felt kind of left out. I thought maybe you forgot all about me.
Not a chance. You got some more friends out there, Carter?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Get up. Come on. Sit down. You, over here. Come on.
Why are they taking you away? Who is this man?
Forget him, Laura. This ain't your trouble.
I'm not prying, Rafe. It's that it hurts me to see you like this.
You're a good woman, Laura. I don't want to bring my troubles down around your head. I wish.
Rafe.
You know mine. I gotta say what I feel. I don't have much time. I wish I'd been able to give you something. I wish I was able to tell you what I felt for you before.
Why didn't you?
What for? Sooner or later it would have come to the same end. You tried to take my mama's land away. The acre and a half she had for 50 years down at Creek's End. You tried to shoot me down like a dog. I killed the man who tried to kill me, and now they want to hang me.
No. There must be something I can do, Rafe. Tell me what to do.
If Tom were here,
Tom's been dead 3 years.
Tom was my friend. But all my life, I wished I was in his place. Set me free, Laura. I'll come back for you. We'll go off together somewhere I can hold you close in peace. Just set me free.
Very touching. Nothing out there but an old bobcat must have wandered down from the mountain. What were you telling me? What a noble and persecuted hero you were? Well, that doesn't matter. Where you're going, it don't matter what kind of stories you'll be telling.
No!
Sorry, ma'am. He's a killer. Killed a man and a girl for no good reason except maybe they said something wrong to him. Go on, tell her, Carter. Tell her what kind of man you are, the kind of courage it takes to kill a 17-year-old girl.
Get out, Laura.
Get out!
You think you've won? You're finished, Dalton. You're wounded and it's getting worse, and everywhere you go in these mountains, every man's hand will be turned against you. You're gonna die, Dalton. And I'm gonna be free. Tired, Deputy? Helena's only about 25 miles. Might as well be 1,000 for you.
Come on.
When did you become a buddy of his? Dalton, you got a real prize package here. This here's Richard Kimball, the man who killed his wife.
Get moving.
What's the point of that?
Teach you a lesson. We're in this together. When we get ready to move, it's going to take the both of us. Now, if you had any ideas of letting you go, you're all gone now.
Look here. Too nice with no sleep. All we want are the keys. And to get out of here. Dalton means nothing to us, right? Carter?
I heard you.
All right, take the gun out. Easy. Hold over there. Get the keys.
Finish him. I said finish him!
Get up. Get out of here. Go on.
Carter, we're free. Oh, let's get out of here. Nobody puts me in chains, especially him. Now get out of here or I'll put a hole in your gut. We've come a long way, haven't we?
I've come a long way to get free, and you've come a long way to die. You know how many men I killed? 4! And not a deputy among them, because I don't mess with dirt. But you're something special. Yes, sir, you surely are. Got it!
I can't let you go, Kimball.
I'm not going with you.
I'll tell them you saved a lawman's life.
That's not gonna do me any good, you know that.
Gotta take you in. But after that, I'll help you. I promise.
I never killed anybody.
Maybe you didn't. But I can give you a new trial here.
Well, that's why I can't go with you.
Can't let you go, Kimball. I can't.
Man can do anything he wants to do.
I'm a lawman. And if I let you go, I'm nothing.
Right, if shooting me makes you somebody, that's what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to shoot me.
Kimball! Kimball!
Well, hi, Emery.
Hi, Joe.
Well, Emery, here's that report on the gaming case.
Take care of it later.
Too bad about Lockett.
Yeah. Sheriff in?
Yeah, I have the report in front of me right now. By wire from Helena. Oh, and he's just come into the office this minute, so I better hang up. So long, George. Well, welcome home.
Thanks.
What happened?
You got the report.
Yes, I read the report. But I want to know what happened to you.
It's all in there. I wrote it down the way it happened.
Emery. Wait a minute, Emery. Are you doing this because Kimball got away?
You want a better reason?
I want a good reason.
He's a murderer.
Who saved your life?
When that report reaches
That report isn't going anywhere. It was addressed to the sheriff of Weiler County, Montana. And that's me and no one else.
You don't understand, do you? You just don't understand. I'm supposed to be a cop and I let a murderer go.
Is that what the report says? It isn't the way I read it. The way I read it, under conditions of extreme duress, with your own life in danger, one of your 2 prisoners got away. I've been sheriff for 30 years. I ought to know how to read a report.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to tell you something. I'm trying to tell you that you're more than a cop. You're the best man I know. Good men are hard to find.
A fugitive's life is not measured in years. It is measured in moments won, a day gained. Richard Kimball has won another day. Tomorrow he must win it all over again.
Gilbert Rowland, Michael Ansara, Tom Nardini. Tonight's episode, The Savage Street.
Hello, Chico. Hey, would you believe that this is customs inspection? We've got to know what's in the box.
In the, luggage, stupid.
Maybe Chico doesn't speak English. And you guys habla Espanol?
I'm a little rusty, yeah.
Well, we've got to be very careful because he might be smuggling arms to Castro. So, there's only one way to settle it. Give me the box, Chico.
He don't hear too good, does he?
Hey, give me that! Little out of tune.
Play us a tune, Cotton. Come on. Play us a little tune. Oh, that's lovely. Beautiful instrument.
Nice. You got it?
All right.
Big cities breed indifference to the problems of others, but some men cannot remain detached. Men like Richard Kimball and involvement can lead to danger.
Come, Frank. Come. Okay, come on.
That's all. Who invited you in?
Well, there are only three of you. I thought maybe you could use some help.
You're a riot. Oh, you just wanted to look at the fiddle. All right, come on.
Here. All right.
A couple of fresh scratches, maybe. Hey, I wasn't looking for trouble. Neighborhood like this, you carry one of these around, it's like sending out invitations. You tell Papa, Tony, it wasn't my fault. Otherwise, what they didn't do to my violin, he's gonna do to my hide.
Yeah, I'll tell him. Come on, I'll walk you.
Hello, Tony.
Hey, Jeff.
How was the lesson today, Jimmy?
Fine, Papa. It went fine.
Good. I don't want to hear from the professor again. You're falling down on your practice. You don't have it so hard. You can't squeeze in 2 hours a day.
Yes, Papa.
Stay with it, son. Another year or so, who knows? Maybe your own recital. It's possible. You read the papers all the time about kids no older than my Jimmy. Prodigies, they call them.
Senor,
prodigies.
To be blessed with such a gift is just like having a saint in the family.
For my son, the world. All that is good and beautiful. A father's dream. Okay, boy. Now let's see what kind of music you make with the broom. Hey, Tony. Mercedes wants you to stay for dinner. She's going to have chuletas de puerco. You like the moros and cristianos? Wait until you taste this. Hey, boy.
Papa?
What happened to you?
Papa,
Come here. Just what I thought. And you promised me you wouldn't fight anymore.
I know, Papa, but
I know you know. You know better than anyone. You won first prize in a good citizenship contest.
It wasn't his fault. He couldn't help it, Hunter.
There are two sides to every street, aren't they?
Maybe the boy didn't have a chance.
He can run, can't he?
A coward runs. Would you want that name for your own son?
Coward. You think there's worse than the names they call him now? Up and down the block, in every window, there's a pair of eyes watching, waiting. You know what they're watching for? What they're waiting for? They want to see Ansa's kid in the gutter, brawling like an animal.
That's where they want you to be, son. You know that. Why do you think I buy you a violin instead of a switchblade?
Papa, what are you gonna do?
They attack you, didn't they? They attack you with no provocation. I'm calling your Uncle Miguel.
The police. Franza, they're growing up. And in a big city, fighting is part of growing up. I don't want to see you do this.
That street out there belongs to me. My family walks it, same as anyone. Proud as anyone. America. You were born here, Tony, and you take all this for granted. Don't. I know. I lived through it. I love this land. But the kids, they bother me. Today they steal hubcaps. Tomorrow they come with blood in their hands. The citizen not only has rights, he has obligations. If he ever forgets that, soon he's got nothing.
Why don't I make these deliveries now? The truck's in back, isn't it?
Save the trip for later. I got a whole batch of panatellas to finish. You take the molds off the press and box the Coronas. Besides, I think Miguel might want to ask you some questions.
Hi, Jimmy. So you're having a little trouble, huh?
Not a little trouble. I told you on the phone. They could have hurt him badly.
Jimmy's not a tourist, you know. This block belongs to him, too. Don't you want him to belong?
To all this?
Especially to this. A violin's not a friend, Jose. It's not a pet. It's a lonely thing, a violin.
A violin doesn't shed blood.
It already has. Now, you claim these kids jumped Jimmy. I say they jumped the violin. Until they separate the boy from the violin, they're going to go right on jumping.
That's why you're here. To stop them.
Now, you got to let Jimmy take his lumps. Let him do the separating, boy from violin. Once they accept him, they'll accept the difference.
He should stand and fight all the time. Is that it?
Of course I'm saying fight. For self-respect, for acceptance. His, theirs, win, lose, draw, it doesn't matter. Just so long as he's acknowledged.
By street punks, hoodlums, delinquents.
Jose, stop kidding yourself. There's an animal in everybody. Even here in America, we each have one foot in the jungle.
A policeman's outlook. Then, I want to swear out a citizen's complaint. You heard me. A citizen's complaint. You're not going to oblige me?
Mike?
My mother raised two sons. One an idiot. Is there any doubt which is which? Well, Jimmy's word is not enough. You're going to need a witness. My guess is you won't find one in this neighborhood.
Tony, come here. Tony, this is my brother Miguel. This is his partner Benton. Tony's working for me until Salvador gets back. He's a good man, honest, reliable. Tell him what you saw, Tony. Go on.
All right, okay. I already have the description. All right, we'll round them up. Maybe give them a little scare. Let me tell you something, Jose. I know those kids. They're not so bad, not like some around here. No blades, no zip guns, no tire chains. But you start leaning on them a little too hard, you can't tell which way they'll fall.
All I want is my family to be protected. You think I'm wrong?
I think you're wrong about a lot of things. That's your privilege. Unfortunately, somebody else may have to bear the consequences.
Miguel, if he were my Jimmy, witnesses would be lined up 10 deep.
Maybe. But you'll never know for sure, will you?
Foster. Foster High School. I thought I recognized you. Varsity basketball squad. Tony Finelli.
No, my name's Maxwell.
Maxwell, no kidding. And you didn't go to Foster? Well, you're a dead ringer for him, and that's a fact.
No, I guess I got one of those faces that everyone finds familiar.
Sorry. Thought I'd run into an old friend. Anza, Jimmy.
What about you, Tony? You think I'm wrong, too?
I don't know. I think you do what you have to do, that's all.
Yeah. For me, the cane fields, tobacco plantation, now this. I make cigars. It's as far as I can go. I know it. I accept it. But for my boy, for my son, I want people, even royalty, to bow their heads.
Said yourself you're not sure.
Look, Mike, we can check it out fast enough. Let's swing by the station and look over some wanted posters.
I could take hours.
Maybe you'd rather spend the rest of the afternoon chasing kids up and down fire escapes.
You know, if you're right about this Maxwell, she really is hot.
Yeah.
And my fine, upstanding, self-righteous brother's got a lot more to worry about than a bunch of troublemaking kids. Let's go.
Saw your friends here before, Chico. Who? We know the guys in the fancy suits. The cops.
They're not my friends.
No, he just calls the cops to exercise his lungs. You shouldn't have done that, Chico. That was very poor judgment.
It wasn't me.
There's one thing worse than a fake. It's a lying fake.
Get the Coronas out of the
What's the matter? He's the one who killed her, that's all. Stop, Armstrong! Mike, you hit him.
Tony, what are you doing here?
About the kid. Forget about the kid. I heard one of the cops say that Tony guy's a killer.
Marv? Marv? He's gotta be here someplace.
Hell, if he is, no one's talking.
Better get help.
Then it is you they're after, huh? How come? Why'd they say you were a killer? Looks pretty bad. You know, my papa tells me to run. I think running stinks. What'll they do if they catch you, the police?
Nothing good. I didn't kill anyone, Jimmy. I want you to believe that.
You're my friend, Tony.
I guess that's answer enough. I want you to get out of here, go on home. I don't want the police to find you here.
No, I'm staying here. When you come right down to it, I guess you're just about the only friend I got. You know, my Uncle Mike's right. You can't play stickball with a violin. Can't go outside, they'll grab you right away. The basement's no good either. Hey, I got a hiding place. Nobody knows about it. Come on, I'll show it to you.
Mercedes? Put away the company china. Tony's not coming for dinner.
I heard. It's on the radio. The whole neighborhood swarming with police. They're making a house-to-house search. He killed his wife, they say.
He did more than that. A man that I liked, that I trusted. We took him into our home, into our hearts. And now he repays us by bringing us trouble from the police.
We didn't know.
They won't believe that. It means trouble, Mercedes.
Ah, that's silly. People understand. It could happen to anybody.
It happened to us, the Anza family. We live in a glass house. And in this house, we have harbored a murderer. Is he practicing?
What?
The boy. He must practice all the time, Mercedes. We must keep after him. Never give him an excuse to let up.
You wish him practicing, you shouldn't keep him running errands all afternoon.
Errands? What errands? I sent him home an hour ago.
You didn't come home?
I've had this place for a couple of years. Nobody knows about it. I guess I know what you're thinking. It's kid stuff. Junk, mostly. Papa threw it all out when he bought me the violin. I fished it out of the trash, the stuff that wasn't busted.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, it's not like I'm not trying for my papa. Because I am. I'm trying hard. It's just that sometimes I feel rushed. Sometimes I can hardly get my breath. It's as if he wants it to happen all at once. It's kid stuff. And I know it, but I don't know how to explain it.
You already have.
Oh, no.
What's the matter?
The violin, I forgot it.
Where?
Well, it's in the basement. Papa will kill me if anything happens to it. He gets so mad all the time. Is there something I can do?
Can you give me a knife?
You mean you're gonna cut it out yourself?
It doesn't seem to be in too deep. Can you give me a knife?
Sure.
I'll need some disinfectant, some cotton, gauze, things like that.
Cotton, disinfectant, gauze, knife. Yeah, I got it.
Give me some money.
For what? I can get it out of the medicine chest.
I'd find out if the police are still looking for me. What?
Tony, it's like New Year's down there. The whole street's barricaded. Everybody's standing around watching.
A lot of people?
Yeah. There's a mess of squad cars on both corners. They really got them stirred up. Looks like you're gonna be stuck in there for a long time.
All right, you be careful. Don't do anything to call attention to yourself.
Don't worry. I'll be careful.
What did I tell you, huh? Looks like we hit a jackpot. They said Kimball got hit, didn't they? Yeah. Well, looks like he found himself a friend.
Right. You know something? We got ourselves a bargain. Kind of 2 for 1.
Let's go.
Let's face it, you guys botched it. If I didn't know better, I'd swear you'd never seen the inside of the academy. Nobody covering the back alley like you wanted Kimball to bust loose.
As far as we knew, Kimball had no idea we were coming. He lit out even before we got there.
That he did for a fact. What I can't help wondering is how come.
How come, Harrigan?
Kimball isn't equipped with built-in radar. At least not according to the make I received on him. It was just you and him in that cigar store, right?
And a customer.
The customer had just left, and then suddenly, pow, without a word, Kimball zips past you and out the back. That's what you want us to believe, right?
Yes, because that's how it happened.
Okay. They sure protect their own.
What's that supposed to mean, they protect their own?
Mike!
No, I want to know.
I want to know, too. You explain that, Sergeant.
Jimmy! Where have you been? Your father and I have been... You thought it was Richard Kimball. Sorry to disappoint you, Sergeant. Go to your room, young man. Your father will deal with you later.
But Mama...
Go to your room.
Through your mind. I can even sympathize with it. You said to yourself, my brother's in that store. What if they're shooting? He could get hurt. You committed a cop's cardinal sin, Anza. You let personal feelings get between you and your badge.
That's not true.
He got away, didn't he? Uniforms all over the street and still he got away.
I told you.
You told me. He told me. Everybody told me. Well, I still don't buy it.
You're saying I deliberately blew it in order to give Kimball time to make a break?
Well, I'm saying it could sure look that way.
You want to make that charge official against me or my brother? There's a phone. No? Then get your mouth out of here, Sergeant. Otherwise, I'll put my fist right through it.
People were feeding me knuckles before I kicked the lollipop habit. I ain't got a tooth in my head I can call my own. Well, I'm not saying that your proposition is without merit. But if it's all the same to you, I'll take a rain check. Okay? I'll bet my pension that Kimball couldn't have wriggled through our cordon. So he's still in the neighborhood. And he's wounded. So it looks very much like somebody's got to be helping him. Think about that one, folks. Well, when he's caught, we'll have all the answers, won't we?
Catch him, Miguel. Catch him so that lousy sergeant will know we're telling the truth.
We'll catch him.
Miguel, if what he says is true, that somebody's helping this Kimball, what will they do to him?
He'd be in a lot of trouble. Helping a wanted murderer to escape. That's enough trouble for any man. Right, Harv?
It'll mean one good Samaritan on his way to prison.
Now, neither of you knows anything you're not telling us.
You think we are hiding this murderer under the bed? But why don't you look and see? Go on, take a look.
Calm down. Nobody's accusing you of anything.
Or do you want to take me down to your police station and play the big policeman with me?
Okay, forget it. Come on, Harv. We're not earning a pay hanging around here. How do you stand him?
He likes my cooking. There's something I must tell you.
What?
I think Jimmy has done something very wrong.
Have any trouble? Did you have any trouble?
Not really. Mama caught me at the medicine chest.
Did you want to know what you were doing?
She was too sore. Besides, we had company and she didn't have time. She sent me to my room and ordered me to stay there.
You may end up in more trouble than I am.
Hey, man, what are we gonna do, huh? We're gonna sit here all day or what?
Will you relax? He'll be back.
Supposing he ditched it here on purpose.
What's the difference? He'll still be back.
If you're wrong?
What if I'm wrong?
Nothing. It's just a waste of time, that's all.
Look, if you've got something better to do, Cotton, you go do it. But just remember, I'm trying to even this score up for all of us.
Staying.
All right.
Doesn't even look like a bullet.
It did once.
You gonna be okay?
I think so.
I tried to get you some food, but I didn't have a chance.
Is you violent?
No, not yet.
Somebody might steal it.
Let him. It'll serve him right. You want to know something? The professor, the man that teaches me, he doesn't even eat as good as I do. The place he lives in, it's a one-room flat. The bathroom's down the hall. He's played in symphony orchestras in every country in the world. My papa thinks to be a violinist is to rule the world. You know what you get if you're not first violin? For everyone, it's not 2 cars and a home in the country.
Well, I don't think your father was just concerned about the money. I think he wanted you to have respect.
For me to be better than him. That's what my papa wants. What's wrong with him? Just because he's ashamed of what he is, it doesn't mean I am. There's people all over this country and they send for his cigars. Big men, important men. Bankers, movie producers, even a United States Senator. Now tell me, isn't that respect? He's a #1 cigar maker, my papa. And what am I? A #1 musician? I don't know if I ever will be.
Well, I think the point is you should try, Jimmy. I'm a doctor. At least I was a doctor. I became a doctor because my father wanted me to. That was at about the age when I wanted to be, I think, a baseball player. But I became a doctor. I'm not better than my father. I just had a better. That was his gift to me. My gift to him was accepting it. Why don't you go get your violin?
It'd be okay till I get back?
Yeah.
Jose, answer me. What are you going to do now?
5 years ago, I bought this for protection. Protection in case you or I or our home was threatened. Now it is threatened.
But where will you go? For what purpose?
I'm going to find him.
When the entire police force cannot?
The police don't know what I know. There are some secret places that Jimmy goes to. He doesn't know that I'm aware of this. Now it's too late for secret places.
But the gun, Jose, why the gun?
If I capture this man, no one can say we helped the murderer. And if he has hurt my boy, I'll kill him.
No, Jose, please, I beg you. Jose!
Okay, Chico, where are you hiding? Where are you hiding him, Chico?
Man, you tell us you could save yourself an awful beating.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about. But you might as well just start your beating.
Chico, do you really want to take us all on?
One at a time. Sure.
You really think you could?
You afraid to try?
All right, Cotton, he's all yours.
Okay, I'm up now.
No, wait. I think Chico's made his point.
Jimmy. It's okay. They want to help.
Last man, close it up.
Yeah, this is some place you got here.
But, what about you, mister? Chico here says that you took some kind of a bum rap, but he's a fan. And we ain't heard it from you.
I didn't kill my wife, that's what you want to hear.
Well, you'd say that even if you had.
Probably, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Chico passed on you. I guess we can go along, huh?
Okay. Now, the first step, I guess, is to get you down to the ground level. There's a warehouse a couple of doors from here. Cops have already gone through it with everything but a Geiger counter.
Then we gotta figure out a way to get you past the barricades. It's gonna take some doing. They got this neighborhood locked up tight.
Didn't I tell you it'd be okay?
Hey, someone's coming.
Jimmy, I know you're in there.
It's Papa.
Richard Kimball, if you're holding my son against his will, I swear I'll kill you.
No one is holding me against my will, Papa. I'm here because I wish to be.
And I wish you to be home. I'll talk to you later. You go on home and wait for me.
No, Papa.
Jimmy, I'm ordering you. You will not defy your father. That man in there is a killer. I'm going to take him prisoner.
No, Papa.
Have to wade through us all, Mr. Hansa.
Who are you?
This are my friends, Papa.
You know what you're doing? Any of you know what you're doing?
Yeah, we're doing our good deed for the day.
I don't understand. Why?
Because he's innocent.
You don't know he's innocent.
He's right. I never killed anyone.
That may be. But society has laws.
Are they the only laws? A man needs help, Papa. If I run now, Can't you see? I'll practice, Papa, because you want it. And someday, God willing, I might be the greatest violinist in the world. For you. But I will never again run away.
Jimmy?
No, Papa. This is the way it is.
The way it is. Yes. When I was your age, I was in the cane fields. Already I was a man. And now I think you are too. They are going to say that I helped you to escape. Well, let them talk. Okay. You all know what to do. Jimmy, no matter how many questions they ask you, all you know is that I'm out on deliveries and that I'll be back soon. Understand? Okay. All right, go on. Go on. You never told me your religion. You got one. Now's the time to get in touch.
Sorry, Hans, I gotta take a look in the back. Is it open?
No, it's locked. Better open it. All right, see what's going on.
That looks like my shop. Aren't you going to help?
You better open the truck.
The policeman must never trust even his own brother. Is that the story?
Close to it.
And what if we did have this man Kimball inside here? This man I know to be honorable. This man I believe to be innocent. What would you do? You would have to put us in prison.
I don't know. At least about Jimmy, I don't.
Maybe reform school for him, huh? Take away his school, his music. Then when he gets out, maybe he'll be fit to wash dishes.
Open the door. I said open it. Okay, move out.
Thanks.
I said move out, I got work to do.
broke your brother's window. They say it was the same kids who's been beating up on your nephew. You want to round him up?
Fine.
What'd they do a dumb thing like that for? Right in front of everybody.
Everybody has a reason for what they do.
Maybe, but shouldn't it make some sort of sense?
I suppose it does. The guy who does a dumb thing. I'll check it out.
Harrigan said you don't even want to press charges against those kids.
As you say, they're just kids. Boys letting off a little steam. You were a boy once, I remember.
Yeah, and I remember what you said before.
Oh, I talk a lot. Can't help it. It's a chronic condition.
So's Harrigan's temper. You should have heard him. He practically accused me of smuggling Kimball out in a squad car.
Does he suspect?
There's nothing to suspect. Kimball got away, that's all, isn't that right?
Yes, of course.
No, not yes, of course. You helped him, and I just stood there and watched.
But you saw no one.
He was there. It was written in big red letters across your face. All I had to do was turn my head.
But you didn't.
No, I didn't. I was in quite a spot, wasn't I? Either betray my own brother or this badge.
You know what he said to me once? He said, "We all do what we have to do." I suppose that's what we both did. What we all did.
A fugitive lives with many emotions: hope, gratitude, loneliness. But among the emotions, one stands out: fear. And every day it's embedded a little deeper, each step taken a little faster, as the contest continues to take its toll.
Trouble, mate? I think you could use some transportation. Fowler's about to cast off. That's Captain Mulvaney. Tell him Lanny sent you.
Thank you.
And it ain't for free. If you're thinking of hitchhiking, forget it.
That's not him.
Richard Kimball, fugitive. A man for whom there are no neutrals, only enemies or friends. To such a man, a stranger's whim, a decision to lend a helping hand, means the difference between freedom or death.
Not a matter of thanks. That $100 don't half cover it. I'm short-handed, so you can work out the difference.
All right.
If you can manage it.
I'll manage.
We'll be putting in at Puerto Banales for supplies and fuel. After that, it's a 6-week run to the fishing grounds. You can come along with us, or we can drop you off at Puerto Banales.
Puerto Banales should be fine.
Here, take these. Same stuff I've been giving you. If you can find a doctor in port, that'll be even better.
Not yet.
Good luck.
Senor? Habla inglés?
Yes, senor.
How far is it to Santa Luca?
300 kilometers, perhaps more.
What's the best way to get there?
This is Puerto Banales. There is no good way to get any place from here.
Isn't there a bus?
Some men call it a bus. It leaves tomorrow at 10 in the morning in front of the municipal palace.
It's a place to stay.
Sancho Modesto has clean rooms and good food. There, next to the church.
Hey.
De nada, senor.
Yes, my friend.
How much for a room?
The rooms are 25 pesos and 50 pesos. That's $2 and $4. For one person, the $2 room is big enough. Here's the key. You feel all right? The room is upstairs on the right. What's the matter? What's wrong?
He won't.
Shall I carry him to his room?
No, he's very sick. Can you hear me?
Just get the pills in my pocket.
And Miss Cyril, how long have you been taking this?
About 3 days.
Can you walk?
I can make it tomorrow.
No, he's not going to his room. Take him to the truck.
Give me a hand. Here, never mind. I'll carry him. Here.
Careful, careful.
Dr. Morales. He gave me this for his room.
Oh, thank you.
Take him inside quickly.
How often have you been taking the medicine I gave you?
3 times a day, like you told me.
What else have you been taking?
Dr. Howell, you didn't give me anything else.
Yes, Diego, but how is it that the medicine I gave you to correct the irregular beat of your heart has in fact been doing the opposite?
Am I a doctor to know this?
Diego, what else have you been taking?
My brother, he found a miracle cure. Made out of the Asana cactus.
Your brother. What else have you been taking?
Nothing else. Oh, of course, except for the herbs from my wife's kitchen.
If one medicine is good, then 3 must be 3 times as good, hmm?
Oh, Senor Dr. Howell, you hit the nail on the head.
I'm going to give you a new prescription.
See? Pine wood? 6 feet long, 1.5 feet. Dr. Howell, this sounds like a coffin.
That's right.
I want to tell my wife and my brother I can no longer take their medicine.
May I see you, Doctor?
Goodbye, Diego.
Goodbye, Doctor.
Where are you dragging me?
You have a new patient in room 8.
Another one of your suffering people.
One of yours this time.
An American.
Found him in Sancho's.
Wandering sailor, no doubt. Well, you're a doctor. Why don't you treat him? I'm weeks behind in my work.
I know that, Frederick, but I think you should see him.
Easy enough to see who's running this clinic.
Doctor, before he passed out, he said he'd been taking these for 3 days.
Pulse 110, pupils dilated, absent breath sounds in the right middle lobe, temperature 104.4. Diagnosis?
Pneumonia.
Start an IV, 500 cc's, 5% glucose and water. And leave word to call me the moment you regain consciousness.
Even if you're asleep?
Well, I won't be sleeping. I'll be working in the lab.
You really shouldn't. You've been working every night this month. When are you going to rest?
When I find what I've been looking for.
All right. I'll call the American consul in Ciudad Hernandez tomorrow.
No. No point in wasting phone calls.
Manuel, my friend, it's really nice to see you.
Good evening, Sancho.
And good evening to you, Manuel.
Oh, how's your beard?
Same as always.
Well, in that case, I'll have one.
Carlota, 1 beer for the sergeant, please. Sit down.
Thanks. How's your family?
Oh, they are well, thank the Lord.
Buck and Inez, they're doing well in school?
They do well.
Well, so much for old things. What about new things?
Such as?
Well, you have an American here.
Ah, yes. What's your interest?
I would just like his name, that's all.
Let's look in the register. Here it is. Thomas Barrett.
Barrett, huh? There's no Thomas Barrett among the crew of the Prowler.
Maybe he was a passenger.
Prowler was a fishing vessel. And why would a passenger come to Puerto Vinales?
Who knows the way of the American coast? Perhaps he came here just to be alone.
Where is he now?
He's ill. Dr. Morales took him to the clinic. No. This one's on me. Please.
Thanks, Sancho.
Bye.
Bye-bye. You're working late tonight. Ah, so are you. Or is this a social call? Some of each. How are they doing? Still alive. But they will soon be dead like the others of your meningitis. My meningitis? Doctor, I didn't mean that.
It's your people who die of it by the score every year.
At least my people don't waste their lives struggling against the wind.
A strong wall keeps out the wind.
Even the hurricane?
Maybe.
Oh, you're a fool. The disease is as old as time, and it'll be here when your walls are dust.
What can I do for you, Sergeant?
You have a new patient here, an American, who was on the fishing boat that came in this morning.
What about him?
I'd like to talk with him.
I'm afraid that won't be possible.
I must insist.
Oh, very well, then I'll ring up the isolation ward.
Isolation?
That's right, we do that in all cases of suspected plague. Since you're apparently immune, I'll tell the duty nurse to send you right in.
That won't be necessary. But I will expect a call from you tomorrow with a complete report on him. Who he is and why he has come to Puerto Bienales.
I've already checked on him, Sergeant. The consul of Santa Luca is a personal friend of mine. The patient's name is Thomas Barrett, and his record is completely in order.
Dr. Morales and Dr. Howell.
What did he want?
The usual bureaucratic idiocy.
I brought you some potato soup and tortillas with fresh butter. Soup.
Oh! All right, I'll knock it off.
Maybe you should relax for a while.
You mean because I failed?
Failure is no disgrace. You do have a clinic to run.
I didn't come here to be the great white doctor to a horde of grateful peons. I came here to find a cure for what has been killing these people since the beginning of time.
Yes, I know. Sometimes I think my people mean no more to you than the animals in those cages. They are footholds so that you can climb your great mountain.
And on the top of that mountain is a way to save their children's lives and their children after them for all time.
If it is there.
You don't have to believe in it.
Frederick, forgive me.
Doctor, the American is conscious now.
They're ready.
Do you want me to go with you?
No, you lock up here.
Where is this place?
You're in the clinic of Puerto Bienales, senor.
All right, Arturo, I'll take over. How are you feeling? Dr. Kimball? Later, senora, later. Later. Top of the morning, Kimball. By the way, in case you're wondering how your fame has spread all the way to Puerto Bienales, I get the hometown papers by Pony Express. I'm always proud when one of my colleagues does something to distinguish himself.
Thank you.
Don't mention it. The real thanks belongs to Dr. Morales. She found you in Sancho's. Probably saved your life.
Well, thank her for me, will you?
Why don't you thank her?
Because I'm leaving.
Why?
Well, you know who I am. You know the answer to that.
The day they brought you here, a police officer came by. I sent him away.
Why?
Because you're a doctor.
Well, I'm not exactly what you'd call a colleague any longer, Doctor. I'm a convicted murderer.
I don't care if you're the mad bomber. You're a doctor, a trained physician.
What is that supposed to mean?
Some time ago, I made an enemy. His name is meningococcus meningitis. I chose it, I picked it, and I've been fighting it all my life. It's all coming back, isn't it? There's already a prescribed treatment for meningococcus meningitis. Is that what you're going to tell me?
Yeah, well, I was. But obviously you're talking about a particularly resistant strain.
Exactly. You see, I was right. You will be a help. The disease is endemic to this province, as it is to most of tropical South America. I've found a partial control. If we catch it early enough with saparidone, about 50% recover. But there's no complete cure. I'm going to find one.
Well, what am I supposed to do?
You're a physician. I can't run this clinic and do my meningitis research, too. Not the way I want to. I need help, Kimball. I need time. You can give it to me.
I'm sorry.
You leave here, you won't get out of this province.
You turn me in?
Mm-hmm.
I see.
Well, is it a deal?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Taking fingerprints. The American who's at the clinic.
The American again. What has he done to gain this attention?
I want to find out who he is. And why he has come here on a fishing boat on whose rolls he is not listed.
Rodriguez, you are forgetting the first lesson of a good policeman. Mind your own business.
Well, if nothing else, he is in this country illegally. I would like to get this to the FBI in Washington.
How? The mail goes to Santa Luca once a week. By the time it gets there, comes back, and goes to Washington. Your friend, if he is wanted, will be long gone from here. And if he isn't wanted, well, then you've wasted your good time.
I could go to Santa Luca and send a cable.
Rodriguez, you are an excellent police officer. I need you here, not in Santa Luca chasing ghosts. Maybe you will be lucky, and this man will commit a robbery or murder, and then you can arrest him. Until then, I want you to leave him alone.
Is Dr. Howell above the law?
Are you so thoroughly the police officer that fear is all you know that passes between men? Well, speak to the people of this village, and they will tell you about Howell.
Oh, the people are fools.
You saved their lives. Speak to Nunez, whose son he saved from the influenza. Or Valismo, whose children he stole from death's door. Or speak to me about the time he killed the malaria before it killed me.
All right, perhaps he did those things, but for his own glory.
Was there not glory enough where he came from? Of glory and money there were plenty. On Park Avenue with the great physicians? Howell came here. He is our friend Rodriguez, and I will not have you trouble him without reason.
Yes, Captain. I'll be back.
This is the isolation ward.
Are all these cases meningitis?
Yes?
Has it been declared an epidemic?
Well, they're not all local cases. Dr. Howell was requested to see cases all over the area. Here's a typical one in its critical stage. Otitis media, pneumonia, cranial nerve involvement. She was flown here from a village near Dos Piedras.
Well, surely they must have better hospital facilities at Dos Piedras.
Yes, but there is no cure for the disease. Dr. Howell is at least getting close to finding one. The more cases he has to study, the sooner he'll be
Sooner he'll what? He hasn't time for the cases he has now.
Conditions are not ideal, Doctor. That's what you're here for.
These people were here long before anyone knew I was coming. You and Dr. Howell have more than you can handle without importing any new cases.
Well, you seem to have acquired a great deal of knowledge in your short stay here, haven't you? No, I grew up in Santa Luisa, about 70 miles from here. In our village, a rich man was one who owned 2 chickens or maybe a cow. For the rest of us, life was just one constant journey between disaster and catastrophe until death put an end to it. I was lucky. For me, disaster came in one day and destroyed almost all of my life. You really want to hear about this?
You want to tell me?
I'd like to. I want you to understand about Howell and me. See, when I was 8 years old, there was an earthquake, and with it came a fire. My whole family was killed. Somehow I survived, and Howell found me. He was a young intern attached to a United Nations aid team. Since there was no one to take care of me, he was literally stuck with me. So he took me into his home. He and his wife.
What happened to her?
She died.
From meningitis.
Yes. So, we were all that were left, Howell and me. He started his clinic, raised me, and later he sent me to the University of Mexico, where I got my degree. Then I came back here.
To help him find his cure.
No. He's my family. Who knows if there is a cure or if anyone will ever find it. All I can do is make it possible for him to try.
Brain,
Don't feel sorry for me, please don't.
I don't feel sorry for you. That's not what I feel at all.
Kimball, take a look at this. It was taken from our prize guinea pig this morning. Complete absence of Neisseria intracellularis. Now take a look at this one. This was taken from him 2 days ago. As you can see, the disease is in an advanced stage.
What happened?
I don't know. Come here. There he is, healthy as the day he was born. 2 days ago, he was dying of meningitis. Here's a list of the things he's been shot with. Sulfamarazine, sulfadiazine, penicillin, sapariddone, vitamin K. A double dose of sapariddone, in fact. But all drugs that have failed before in this stage of the disease.
Something worked this time?
What? The hand of God? Maybe it is that after all.
Maybe it was some combination of these drugs, some sequence of administering.
Nah, they've all been done before. It's in the records there, Kimball. I will try double sapariddone on each of the others.
I'll let you get some rest. I'll go over the list and repeat the sequence for some of the other animals.
Okay. Call me if you need me.
Mr. Barrett, I'm pleased to see you've made such an excellent recovery. I'm Manuel Rodriguez.
Good morning.
How goes the great work?
Well, you'll have to ask that of Dr. Howell.
Well, Dr. Howell, unfortunately, does not always tell me what I wish to know. When I asked about you, for example, he told me very little. You come here from nowhere, knowing no one here, and 3 weeks later you're working for Dr. Howell. And all this is very strange, Mr. Barrett. Can you explain it to me?
Well, there's nothing to explain. I don't know what you want to know. I have this work to do. I do it. That's all.
Oh, you do it very well. Some of my friends have been fortunate enough to be your patients. They say you're a skillful doctor, almost as good as the heroic Dr. Howell.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, I'll be seeing you, Mr. Barrett. We're going to Ciudad Hernandez to check on Senor Barrett.
Well, Captain Gomez told us...
Captain Gomez won't be back until tomorrow.
Go and call him.
Come quick.
You were right. It was a sapariddone. A double dose. That and the standard amount of sulfadiazine taken in alternation. Last night I treated 8 infected animals. This morning there were signs of favorable response in 6.
Congratulations.
Well, we've got 42 patients in various stages of the disease out there. I'll start the treatment immediately. 4 grams a day.
Superior is still listed as an experimental drug.
Look, I know about the side effects, but that's limited chiefly to heart patients and pregnancies. Besides, you saw those animals.
Yeah, but they were just animals. These are people. The manufacturer says that anything over 2 grams may prove to be fatal.
What about the 50% who are still dying of the disease? I'd call that fatal, wouldn't you? Well, it'll be a few days before we really know whether we're successful.
Well, I can't stay that long, Howell.
Why not? Why can't he stay?
Who knows? Maybe he's got a big business deal waiting for him in Santa Luca.
Thomas,
That's not his name. His name is Richard Kimball, and he's wanted for murder.
I don't believe it.
Ask him.
Yeah, that's the truth.
We made a bargain. I promised not to turn him into the police. In return, he promised to help me.
That's not a bargain. That's blackmail. What are you going to do now? Turn him in?
Well, he lived up to his end. As far as I'm concerned, he's free to go.
And will you? Now that you're set free?
Raina, go outside, please. Raina. She'll be all right. Later you can explain that you're innocent. And you'll be able to resume being lovers or not as you choose.
All right, Doctor, we all know how tough you are.
Not tough enough. I finally got it.
Meningitis? Unless you're just making up a lie to keep me in.
Of course I would. But in this case, I'm not lying. You're a doctor. It's easy enough for you to check. My temperature's up to 102. My blood work checks out positive. Don't worry, Kimball. We've got a treatment now. But I'm going to need you.
All right, I'll stay a while.
Good. I'll start the treatment of the patients tonight. You get a good rest, and you can take over in the morning. By Monday, we should know how it works. I'll be all right.
Judge, according to this chart, half these patients have received no medication within the last 24 hours.
Yes, Doctor.
What?
Those are Dr. Howe's orders.
What's the reason?
I don't know, Doctor.
Take care of this.
Hello, Kimball. How's it going?
Over half the patients are getting a double dosage of Superior.
Good.
The duty nurse told me that the other half are receiving no medication at all.
Well, we couldn't treat them all. We ran out of Saperidone. When we get some more, we'll give it to them.
So the patients came here for treatment, too?
I'm aware of that, Kimball. But this isn't Rockefeller Center, where you pick up the phone and your order's delivered before you hang up. The last batch of antibiotics took 3 weeks to get here, and half of it was unusable. I've ordered some more, and I hope it gets here before the week's out. Until then, there's nothing more to be done.
Any improvement?
Without the Superior, there's nothing to stop the infection.
Why don't you take a rest? There's nothing more you can do now.
Where'd this come from?
From Santa Luca, senor. The supplies that were ordered.
There's glandsments, alcohol, rubber gloves, rubber sheets. Where are the antibiotics?
There are none in this order, senor.
Dr. Howell ordered a supply of Superdin.
The supplies were delivered last week.
Are you sure?
I delivered them myself, senor, to Dr. Howell himself.
Thank you. Arturo! Where do they keep the reserve medical supplies?
Well, all the supplies are kept in the medicine closet, Doctor.
I just spoke to Raina. She says that some of the patients on the increased Superdin seem to be responding. Their fever is down. The blood and spinal count is greatly improved.
And what happens to the people that aren't receiving the series?
Well, in a few days we'll have enough to start them on it, too.
Until then?
We've been through this, Kimball. I told you we've run out.
It's been in the supply room for about a week.
That's all I've got, and it's not to be used until I say so.
Why, because it might interfere with your experiment?
That's right. They're tolerating an increased dosage, but they may require more. I need that reserve.
These people came here for treatment too, Doctor.
Treatment? Who's talking about treatment? I'm trying to find a cure.
You found a cure?
A 100% cure. All we know is that a double dosage of Superdin cured some guinea pigs. Well, human beings are not guinea pigs, Doctor. They may require more, maybe even a triple dosage. And if they do, I want to be able to give it to them.
Doctor, there are 11 people. 11 people in there that are dying. Now, half of them could be saved with one single dosage of this drug you're hoarding.
Do you want me to give it to you in simple mathematics, Doctor? You're talking about 5 or 6 cases. I'm talking about thousands. And thousands more who haven't even been born yet.
No, I'm talking about 11 people who came to you because they thought you could help them.
But if the ones I'm treating now don't respond, I tell you I need that reserve.
And these people know they're being sacrificed for an experiment.
I'm only interested in one thing. Finding a cure for our homegrown brand of meningitis.
And you don't care how many people you kill? Well, I do. I'm going to put those people on Superdin.
Kimball, you try to treat those patients, and I'll turn you in.
Where's Ramirez? 4 cc's of Superdin, 2 cc's of sulfadiazine. IV at 1 a.m. Who's next?
He's the last one, Doctor.
All right, Dr. Morales will be on at 5 o'clock. You give her the list of patients. She'll take over from there.
Senor Doctor, won't you be returning tomorrow?
No.
Congratulations. The attendant phoned as soon as you'd left. Loyalty to the chief. Kimball, I must say you surprised me. I didn't think you'd have the nerve. Unless you didn't really believe I'd call for the police.
I believe it.
Well, as it happens, I didn't call.
Why not?
No point in it now. You messed up the great experiment. But clapping into a jail isn't going to solve that. Besides, I need you here.
I'm not going to stay, Hal. I've done my work. You got your cure.
But we don't know yet if it's a cure. It looks good, I'll admit. But we need time to assemble and analyze the results.
I need you here.
Raina! Otto! Go get Dr. Morales. Then help me with Dr. Howe. I want to get him back to his cottage.
There. And here is your Dr. Barrett. Richard Kimball wanted by the United States authorities for unlawful flight to avoid execution.
Are you sure this is Barrett?
It is him. In Ciudad Hernandez, they were not so protective of the great Dr. Howell and his friends. They matched his fingerprints, and you see the picture.
All right. Let's go.
He'll come around when the nitritol takes effect. We'll be outside.
It's meningitis, isn't it?
Yeah.
And his treatment didn't work. He gave it to himself, and it's useless.
But there's still a chance.
What chance? He's been carrying the infection around for weeks. It's already too far advanced. He's dying. And his serum is a failure.
Rena, what can I do, White?
You've done more than you had to. You owe us nothing. And I know now that you have to leave, so...
The doctor, he is asking for you.
Still around, eh, Kimball?
The Kimball has been treating you.
He could have saved himself the trouble.
You're going to be fine.
My dear girl, I've been studying this disease for longer than you've been alive. I am not going to be fine.
I'm so sorry
What do you mean?
that your drug failed. All your years of work were wasted.
Oh, save your tears, Angel. The drug works fine. I never took it.
You're talking about... Why didn't you?
A few years ago, if you remember, I took a vacation at Santa Rita. The fact is, I went there to recuperate from a coronary attack. Rather a bad one.
I didn't know.
Oh, there was no need. But anyhow, you can see why I couldn't take any Siparidone.
Side effect.
But even with the side effects, there was still a chance.
A very slim one. And if I didn't make it, I'd have been dead then and there. This way I bought myself a couple of days.
For more testing.
But why? It wasn't necessary.
The only thing that was ever necessary was for me to do my work. And now it's done. Pharmaceutical house can clear up the details. You better get going. There's a smart cop named Rodriguez on your trail. And I won't be around to keep him off anymore.
Well, I don't think you're doing that for me, are you?
Not really. But when Raina's finished her work here, she'll be looking around for a new life. And I've decided that your chances are pretty slim. She loves you. I wouldn't want her doing anything foolish. Nothing personal, of course.
Of course.
I love you.
I love you, my angel. Go now. Take him to the ocean at San Pablo. You can get a boat there. Go now. Quickly.
doctor is very ill, senor.
It is a very important matter.
Maria! Let them in.
Dr. Howell, I beg you, forgive the lateness of the hour.
Oh, there's nothing to forgive, Pablo. A visit from my friend is always welcome.
I'm sorry you are ill. I hope you will be well soon.
No, I will not be well again, Pablo. My enemy has at last caught up with me.
The meningitis?
I am dying, my friend.
We have business, Dr. Howell.
Be quiet. You are in the house of the doctor.
Oh, that's all right, Pablo. How can I help you?
The man who worked with you, the American, Senor Barrett, where is he?
Oh, he's not here anymore. Why? What do you want with him?
Is this the same man, Senor Barrett?
Oh, of course it is. I saw him only yesterday. Why are we wasting time?
No. This is not Barrett. Barrett looks nothing like this.
Captain Gomez, this is a lie. I have seen this Barrett with my own eyes.
Dr. Howell says it is not Barrett. That is good enough for me.
Captain, this is madness. And we still have time to catch him, to set up roadblocks. Barrett is Kimball.
The doctor says no. All his life, he has labored for us, and we have in return given him nothing. Now, the least we can do is to believe his dying words.
I am sorry, Captain, but I am calling some men here to search the clinic and the grounds.
I have given you an order, Sergeant. If you disobey it, you can seek employment with your friends in Ciudad Hernandez. Goodbye, my friend. Vaya con Dios. Arenas, let's go.
There are the boats. Tell them you're from Dr. Howell, and any one of them will take you anywhere you want to go. Why is it that I'm always attracted to men who chase a dream?
Maybe it wasn't just a dream for you.
And for you?
I thought that's all it was. I'd stay here.
Perhaps it's time for me to have a dream. And I think I know now what shape it will take. Bye, Richard. Adios.
To Richard Kimball, the fugitive, the respite of love is brief. The end of love a necessity of survival. In flight from the numberless enemy, darkness and loneliness are harsh but sheltering friends. him to search for a one-armed man he saw leave the scene of the crime. Freed him to run before the relentless pursuit of the police lieutenant obsessed with his capture.
The guest stars in tonight's story, Ivan Dixon, Diana Sands, and special guest star Diana Hyland, also starring Barry Morse as Lieutenant Philip Gerard. Tonight's episode, Dossier on a Diplomat.
Mr. Hobart, please.
Mr. Hobart isn't in just now. Might I ask who's calling?
You know when he'll be back?
Not until tomorrow. Any message?
Actually, what time tomorrow?
Early tomorrow.
No, I'll try him then. Thank you. No message.
A fugitive, if he is innocent, is sustained by hope. It is more necessary to him than food or shelter. But paradoxically, the greater the promise of that hope, the more agonizing it becomes.
Take it easy. I am taking it easy. The phenomenon in Washington apparently finds more diverting than I do.
He was crossing the street, just kind of keeled over right in front of me.
Sure you're all right? Oh, yes, quite, except for a severe case of punctured dignity, usually not fatal. I'm afraid I simply slipped and lost my balance.
I mean, I never touched him.
I am sorry if I caused you any inconvenience.
Can I take you somewhere?
Oh, no. It's just a few blocks, not enough to turn over your meter. However, if you, sir, are going that way, I would not say no to the loan of your arm.
Coming through.
Why?
What's the deal? Well, he fell down right in front of me. I never touched him. And that's it?
This man seems to have the gift for making a concise summary. Yes, officer, I'm afraid that's it.
Okay, people, let's break it up.
So you see, Mr. Farrell, to an outsider like myself, it's incredible how far one can walk and still be surrounded by the trappings of civilization. And I am accustomed to walking, you understand. You see, in my country, many of the roads are as yet unsuitable for automotive travel.
Mr. Ambassador, you were warned about going out without telling anyone.
I was warned.
Very well. Choose your punishment. Which is it to be? No dessert or no television?
The decisions an ambassador is compelled to make. What's for dessert?
Tapioca pudding.
Whipped cream? You may turn off my TV set.
We usually offer a reward for his safe return, sir. However, our new Prime Minister has hit us with his austerity program. Perhaps you would accept a warm handshake and a picture postcard of the Potomac?
No tapioca pudding. This, Mr. Farrell, is my personal secretary, Miss Allison Priestley, without whom I suspect life would be greatly simplified. Would you tell Mrs. Unawa that I have returned, please?
The oblique dismissal. When he's alone, he usually says scat.
Oh, and Allison, tell Cook we are having a guest for dinner.
Mr. Farrell, I shouldn't worry if I were you. His constituents outlawed cannibalism in the last election. Well, I want to be around when the missus asks about that. I bet your explanation's a Lulu.
Mr. Ambassador, I want to thank you for the invitation to dinner, but
we'll wait in the study.
Well, I'm sorry. I was trying to say I can't stay for dinner.
Oh, you have a previous engagement?
Well, no, but...
Three interpretations suggest themselves. Either you have just arrived in Washington, or you are about to depart, or that suitcase contains the wares of a salesman.
Just arrived.
Ah, and you have not yet found suitable lodgings. Splendid. Would you believe it? We have 12 rooms here, a good many of them unoccupied.
You don't even know me.
Did you know me when you plucked me from the gutter?
Well, no, but a thank you would have covered that.
Mr. Farrell, to deal with a country such as yours is an awesome task. And if I am to succeed, it is imperative that I acquire an understanding of your people, of you, Mr. Farrell. So, you see, my invitation is not entirely unselfish. You can be of value to me. So, it is settled. Agreed?
What is settled?
Oh, my dear, this is Mr. Farrell, whom I have just persuaded to be a guest of the embassy. Mr. Farrell, my wife, Mrs. Unawa.
How do you do?
What do you do? Oh? You ran into a door.
No.
Into something?
I'm afraid I rather ungracefully slipped and fell, avoiding what I believe to be a runaway taxicab.
This man, Mr. Farrell, my illustrious husband, has survived civil war, revolution, and attempted assassination. Until this morning, his only disfiguration was a 3-inch appendix scar.
Well, obviously, my dear, the streets of Washington are more dangerous than the jungles of my homeland.
We are what the world calls an emerging nation, Mr. Farrell. But sometimes I wonder what exactly we are emerging into. Now I'll show you to your room, get you settled. As for you, there are some letters for you to answer.
Oh, yes, and a conference at 5. Thank you, dear. Behind every great man.
Would you follow me? It's right upstairs. We've a very small staff, Mr. Farrell, but I'm sure we can make your stay comfortable. Were you present when my husband sustained his injury?
Well, I didn't see him slip.
Otherwise, did it seem as he described it?
I think so.
He didn't collapse.
Collapse.
Afterwards, he seemed all right to you? Forgive me, I have my reasons for asking.
Well, he was a little dazed, but otherwise he seemed to function normally.
I wonder, could you? You didn't say what brought you to Washington, Mr. Farrell.
A legal matter.
Excuse my prying. It would never occur to my husband to make such inquiries. Therefore, it must occur to me. You understand?
Of course.
But not really. So I will tell you why. It is my husband's nature to trust people. All people. But then my husband is a man with a very strong commitment to civilization. I'm afraid I do not always share his complete faith. If you need anything, just ring the bell. Dinner is at 7.
Ambassador's robe suits you. Oh, yes, see to our guests' needs, he said. So I thought I'd begin with coffee. Black?
Yeah, black. Thank you.
Now, what's a nice girl like me doing in a palace like this, right?
And now that you mention it.
You might say that I'm a Peace Corps dropout. There I was, out in the bush, teaching secretarial skills to some of the locals when I got this marvelous offer from the ambassador to join his staff. So here I am. You know something, Charlie? I'm going to tell you a little bit more about myself because you seem so interested. First of all, I take the fastest shorthand this side of the Chesapeake, do my nails on my own time, and I'm not shopping for a husband. You tell me something. Which of the above statements is false? That's her ladyship calling, and the long and the short of it is she wants me. I know what you're thinking, Charlie. If only there was some way I could draw her out of her shell.
Miss Priestley? When we were out shopping yesterday, didn't I notice just around the corner a bookstore?
McHenry's.
Yes, I think that was the name. There's a paperback book I want, non-fiction, I believe. I'd like you to go out and buy it for me.
Surely.
The name of the author and the title. Mr. Farrell? Remarkably easy reading. Of course, I skimmed through most of it. All but one chapter.
And?
My husband knows nothing of this, which is the way I prefer things to stand. We will go down to dinner now. At some point, you will volunteer the information that something has arisen which necessitates your immediate departure, much as it pains you. You will have to forego the ambassador's handsome hospitality. Have I made myself clear, Dr. Kimball?
Perfectly clear.
Now you will see, Mr. Farrell, whether I was right to choose the tapioca pudding. Do you play chess, Mr. Farrell? I thought perhaps later on we might have a game.
Well, I'd like that, Mr. Ambassador, but I'm afraid I'll be leaving shortly.
Leaving, Mr. Farrell?
As I had a telephone call from a business associate. I have some things to attend to.
Oh.
You mean Miss Priestley didn't give you the message?
Message?
Yes, your associate called back. You must have been in the shower at the time. He said to tell you that the matter has been attended to. So, you are welcome to stay on here for as long as it may suit you.
Shall we all take coffee and brandy in the study?
You two go on. Mrs. Unawa and I have a small domestic matter to discuss. We'll join you directly.
How does it feel to be referred to as a small domestic matter? Among my various attractive attributes, I neglected to mention I have a big mouth.
Who told you?
Does it matter?
Was it he? Did he come running to you?
My dear, I'm sure you believed yourself to be acting in my own best interests. However...
And in the interest of the embassy, of our nation, of your mission here. They're harboring a fugitive.
I am sheltering a friend.
In this case, it is one and the same thing. If it were known, and at a time when we are practically in the streets begging for allies.
Davala, you cannot ask that I put this...
I should not have to. You who have fought with your body and your brain for independence, for freedom, for the very laws which this man, this murderer would now have you break. We're struggling to stand with dignity alongside other nations. In our Constitution, we stress the law, domestic and international. We must not be held up as hypocrites.
My dear, were you ever to address the UN General Assembly, we would be inundated with foreign aid.
Then you will.
No, my love, I will not.
I don't have to tell you how the world sees us. Like a child. They expect mistakes from us. Blunders. The diplomatic gaucheries of amateur statesmen. You will not be serving your country well by providing them with just such an example of our lack of sophistication.
That's enough, Dalala. Can a man serve his country who does not even serve his own conscience?
Brought out their entire stock. I just love books.
You spoke to the ambassador.
Well, there's nothing unusual about that. Hardly a day goes by that we don't speak to each other.
Why?
Why'd I tell him? I'm not sure. But if you figure out, you let me know.
Mrs. Unawa begs to be excused. A mild headache.
Scat.
Scat.
My room's at the end of the hall. Bring cookies.
What is interesting to me is the absolute lack of a sympathetic bias. Nowhere does he even hint at the possibility that these men were innocent, but only that, in his opinion, they were unjustly tried.
I didn't kill my wife.
I did not suppose you had. I have seen a lot of murder in my life, Dr. Kimball, and a lot of murderers. I myself was once a hunted fugitive with a price on my head, marked for execution. Consequently, I sort of think of myself as an expert. And my opinion is that you are no more guilty than I was. You have talked to this man, this Mr. Hobart?
In the morning.
Excellent. Then we do have time for a game of chess. You do play, Dr. Kimball.
Yes, I play.
Oh, Walter. Bring the car around, will you?
You sure it'll be all right?
Quite, Mr. Farrell. Mr. Hobart's office is right on our way.
Operator, give me the police.
You want me to handle your appeal and petition for a new trial, right?
I should warn you I don't have any money. Your book said that
What I said, I meant. I'm not in this for the money. At least, not in your case. I suppose I'm something of a throwback in this age of expediency. Justice is one word I'm still not embarrassed to use.
Then there is a chance.
We've got some work to do.
What does that mean in your book?
My book said you should never have been convicted on the case the prosecution brought into that courtroom. It was all circumstantial. Could have been attacked in 100 different ways.
Then there is a chance.
If we get a new trial, I'm sure I can get you off.
It's good to hear.
Only partly good. Maybe that if slipped by you. The problem will be getting that new trial.
How big a problem?
Not too bad, but it'll take time. You've already had one appeal turned down. And that was predicated on the usual grounds. Judicial error, venue, even the press treatment. I'm afraid we'll have to search elsewhere. Unfortunately, the Stafford police knew their business. All their pre-trial procedure met even the requirements of the recent Supreme Court rulings.
Where does that leave us?
Looking for a new piece of evidence.
You can forget it. There isn't any new evidence.
Maybe not anything that'll prove your innocence per se, but they have to prove your guilt. All I need is something to get your case retried.
Then what?
A witness that wasn't called, testimony that was never elicited, a deposition that should have been taken and wasn't. Anything like that. Doesn't necessarily have to be earth-shaking. Just enough to let the appellate court say that maybe with it, just maybe, the jury could have found differently. Don't worry. I can come up with that.
How?
I've got 2 investigators packing to go to Indiana right now.
Well, there is hope.
Well, of course there is. Or I wouldn't be going to all this trouble. As I say, I know I can come up with something, but I can't tell how long it'll take. I'd guess a maximum of 2 months.
2 months? I don't see how I can...
Relax. You're at the embassy, right? By international law, my friend, that embassy is not part of the United States. It's foreign soil. And you, dear client, for so long as you remain there, are out of the jurisdiction of the American police.
I don't see how I can just move in.
From my point of view, I'm afraid I must insist on it.
What does that mean?
I mean, as an attorney, I'm an officer of the court. I can't represent a criminal on the run. I'm bending a few legal and personal ethics right now, in fact, just talking to you here. But as long as you're under the legal protection of another duly constituted government, I'm not assisting in evading any federal or state laws, and I can represent you.
I don't see how I can just ask the ambassador for board and room for 2 months.
So he tricks up some kind of job for you. Houseboy, janitor, pearl diver, what do you care? For now, you hustle back to that embassy. We'll meet there from now on. And once inside, I don't care if that building's burning down. You don't budge.
Hold it right there. Come out. Oh. Once he's inside this gate, he's on embassy property. That means we can't touch him.
The talk about Washington girls trying to get themselves a man. Just talk.
I'm not intruding, Doctor?
No, I was rather expecting him.
I know what it's like to infiltrate a combat zone. At one point in our lives, my husband and I were virtually commuters. I know it will come as no surprise to you if I tell you that it was I who phoned the police.
No surprise.
Perhaps you regard our current positions as a stalemate. It isn't. I am determined to be rid of you, Dr. Kimball, as soon as possible, and regardless of any dissenting voices.
Mrs. Unawa,
No. Let me finish, please. The ambassador is my life, Dr. Kimball, and your presence in this house would assuredly kill him.
You mean his career?
That first, then him. Have you been so preoccupied with your own problems that you've failed to notice the very obvious classical medical symptoms? He tires easily, naps for hours on end, suffers dizzy spells, has recurring trouble with his eyesight. Need I go on, Doctor?
Brain tumor, how long?
It was discovered several months ago. He doesn't know. He thinks it's a form of malaria. I won't let the doctors tell him.
I'm sorry.
Every day he lives, every day he continues to serve the cause to which he has given his entire being. You will not deprive him of that privilege.
Well, how can my presence here threaten that?
Scandal at the diplomatic level, Doctor, is sudden death. Your presence here can do more than merely wreck a man's career. It could rewrite the course of history. I'm not unmoved by your plight, Dr. Kimball. I'm simply unable to accommodate it.
Yes?
Good morning, Dr. Kimball.
You know him?
I know him.
I'd like to see Ambassador Unawa, please.
I am he, sir.
Lieutenant Gerard, I'm here for my prisoner.
Your prisoner, Lieutenant? Surely not. A guest of the embassy, yes, but no man's prisoner.
This man is a convicted murderer, a fugitive from justice, and I hold a warrant for his arrest. Are you refusing to honor that?
I am. I have offered Dr. Kimball sanctuary here, and he has accepted. I will honor that responsibility and nothing else.
Then I'm afraid, Mr. Ambassador, you leave me no choice. I shall have to file charges.
As you will. However, it would be a waste of your good time and the taxpayers' money. As you know, I do enjoy diplomatic immunity.
He doesn't.
Ah, but as my guest, he is beyond your reach. The privilege of immunity and sanctuary is expressed by many countries, including yours.
The local police have surrounded the embassy. He's boxed in tight.
Oh, well, the beds here are very comfortable. We have a superb cook, excellent television reception, and then, of course, there's always chess. I'm certain that Dr. Kimball will manage to while away his hours.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Ambassador, I'm sure you realize that there is an extradition treaty between your country and the United States.
Dr. Kimball, you will excuse us, my dear? Have a seat, Doctor. You spoke with your attorney this morning?
Yes.
It went well?
Well enough. He estimates that we'll need at least a couple of months to get the information we need.
Months?
I know I can't stay here. I've caused you enough trouble. I can't ask you to fight the extradition. Tonight I'll find a way to get out.
and right into Lieutenant Gerard's eagerly awaiting arms. Surely there must be a less spectacular method of committing suicide.
I'm used to it.
Have I ever intimated that I wished you to leave? Has anyone? Oh, yes, of course. My wife. But that, after all, is my concern, isn't it? And mine alone. 2 months, you say. But is he optimistic, this Mr. Hobart, about the outcome? That's what counts.
Seem to be.
Are you?
3 things have kept me going, Mr. Ambassador. To avoid capture, find the man that killed my wife, and to secure a new trial. I'll show up in court, all right.
Even though it was in a court that you were unjustly adjudged guilty?
Yes.
Such unshakable faith speaks well for the American system. Speaks well for you, Dr. Kimball. You are familiar with the symptoms of malaria, Doctor?
Yes.
I'm running out of symptoms.
I don't understand.
My wife thinks I have malaria, and I wish her to continue in this belief, but I'm running out of symptoms. I am a terminal case, Doctor. I have an inoperable brain tumor. Perhaps you had better pour the coffee.
It's always been my feeling that both the patient and the family should know the truth.
And don't things become awkward, mawkishly sentimental, lots of tears and pity?
At first. But then they adjust to the inevitable.
If she knew the truth, it would make your situation easier.
How?
Well, a wife can hardly refuse to indulge her dying husband's every whim, can she?
Telephone, Charlie. You can take it on line 1.
I'll take it in my room.
All typed and ready for your signature.
Thank you.
What a mess. It's a good thing you weren't entertaining the State Department.
Mr. Hobart? Yes, this is Richard Kimball. Something happened?
Just letting you know I'm going to drop by with some authorizations for you to sign.
Fine. You should know something else. Lieutenant Gerard was here. He's talking about extradition.
I was afraid of that. But we can fight it out for a couple of months. How did the ambassador handle it? Uh-huh. Good. All right, here's what we do. You tell Mr. Unawa. There's no question there'll be a lot of static over this. But if he'll hang tight, stall, I don't care, declare a state of war if he has to. There are 2 months to be bought, Kimball, and if he's half as feisty as you say he is, Unawa's the man who'll buy them.
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Oh, Miss Priestley.
Yes?
I've been in touch with the Prime Minister back home. I want you to tell the rest of the staff to pack their things. We'll be leaving the embassy tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yes. Call the movers and tell them to be here tomorrow afternoon.
Does the ambassador know this?
I'm going in to tell him right now.
It's rather short notice, don't you think?
Perhaps. But by 5:30 tomorrow afternoon, this building will no longer house our legation. Miss Priestley, I made a request.
Yes, of course you did.
Who is it?
Charlie, I've got to talk to you. They're closing the embassy.
Why?
The way I see it, we're moving to other quarters.
When did this happen?
You mean, when did she arrange for it to happen? Well, as far as I know, she canceled the lease effective tomorrow night. Sorry, Charlie. Sorry doesn't begin to say it.
I'd like to see the ambassador.
He evidently fainted. Afterwards, he felt tired. He complained of a headache.
And?
I gave him 2 cc's of meperidine.
That'll keep him sedated for 8 hours.
I talked to his doctor. The dosage is to be repeated every 8 hours.
So he won't be able to object to you moving the embassy.
I'm not that devious, Doctor. He fell ill before I had a chance to tell him.
And why are you moving?
I felt this building no longer met our needs. So we're moving to temporary quarters until we can find more suitable facilities for the embassy.
After the police arrest me, then you'll decide that these facilities are suitable enough, and then you'll move back, I see.
Perhaps. But meanwhile, this building will no longer serve as a legally protected haven for one whose presence not only jeopardizes my husband's career, but in fact endangers the entire relationship between his country and the United States.
I don't want to do that. I'd leave here if I could right now.
But the police outside make that impossible. Correct?
Correct.
So, since we are unable to manage your removal from the embassy, I'm forced to remove the embassy from you.
I see.
Dr. Kimball, I wonder what you must think of me.
I think you love him very much. He knows he's going to die. He doesn't know that you know.
You could have told him.
Well, he thinks he's protecting you. Let's let him continue.
Look it over and sign the affidavits. Any way you look at it, we've had a chance to get to know each other and start things moving. Odds are we'll get that new trial.
In time.
I spoke to Lieutenant Gerard as I came in. You can surrender to him.
Did he agree to keep me in Washington until the trial?
He's agreed to nothing. He doesn't have to. Well, you can't exactly blame him for not cooperating. You led him quite a chase.
What you're saying is then that I could be executed before you could obtain a stay. That's what you're saying, isn't it?
Oh, I don't think they'd move that fast.
But if they did, you couldn't do anything to stop them.
Probably not.
If I managed to get out of here, could you still get me that new trial?
If you leave this building, you revert to the status of a fugitive. I couldn't give you any help at all.
But you said something about justice meaning something to you.
It does. And so do the 30 years I've invested in my career.
Well, I haven't much choice, have I?
From the way they have this place blocked off, I'd say you have 24 hours and no choice at all. Tomorrow, when the embassy moves out, the police move in.
I missed you, Charlie. I know it sounds silly, but I took this job thinking I could be part of something important. You know, history in the making, that kind of nonsense.
It's not nonsense.
No? Well, right now I wish I were back in the Peace Corps, translating Sincerely Yours into Swahili. I'm out of jokes, Charlie. What will I do now?
I don't know.
I don't either. I'll think of something.
He goes.
You two can take the limousine. May I know the meaning of this?
Mrs. Onoa, I'm Lieutenant Gerard.
I know who you are, Lieutenant. However, I do not consider that an explanation. Do you propose to detain the ambassador, Lieutenant?
No, not if he is the ambassador. Open it. Thank you.
Excuse me, ma'am. The van is loaded. We're ready to leave.
Fine, we'll meet you at the hotel. Was there anything else, Lieutenant?
No, not if you're through in there. My authority says I can enter at 5:30.
Well, Miss Priestley has instructions to lock up at 6 o'clock. Considering the number of men you have assembled here, you should have more than enough time for a thorough search.
Ambassador and his wife are on their way to the hotel.
No, I mean the moving van.
Just pulled out.
It just what?
Weren't they supposed to go?
Well, no. They were supposed to leave a packing case for all these things. Now what am I going to do? They're gone, it's gone, everybody's gone.
Kimball's still in there.
I don't know. I don't think so.
What do you mean you don't think so?
Well, he was downstairs when I went up to get these things, and when I came down, he had gone.
Lieutenant, can I have a couple of cars? We gotta head off that van.
Mac, Arnie, let's go.
They pulled a man off the rear exit to cover the front.
And it worked.
My plans always work. Almost always.
Gerard will be back in a minute.
You know, I was going to make you a lunch, but we ran out of tapioca.
That's all right. I hate that.
Me too. You better be going. Charlie, if you're ever passing through town,
For Richard Kimball, a moment of safety ends, and the long search must continue. For he knows the only true sanctuary lies in the elusive proof of his innocence.